Ever since the first chapter of Boruto Two Blue Vortex, every fan has been speculating about the death of Sasuke. There have been various videos giving out theories to this effect also. Some say Sasuke was killed by Boruto, others say he became a tree, while others say he transformed into a Ten-Tails clone like the Claw Grimes. However, there's a simple explanation to what happened to Sasuke, and this happened in Chapter 1 of Boruto Two Blue Vortex. But before we begin, you all know the drill, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. After Eida used the power of omnipotence to reverse the roles of Kawaki and Boruto, most of the characters were negatively affected, which also includes Sasuke. Just like everyone, he believed Boruto is the enemy and the person who killed Naruto, his best friend, and destabilized the village he swore to protect. So Boruto was his target, someone he needed to deal with. But this changed after Sarada, who of course wasn't affected by omnipotence, begged him to save Boruto, which he agreed to do. The reason why Sarada isn't affected by omnipotence isn't known yet. How she convinced her father to change his mind is unknown, but some people are of the opinion that she used her newly awakened Mangekyou Sharingan and used genjutsu to convince him. Or it could be that Sasuke was moved by her awakening the Mangekyou Sharingan in that moment because he knew the feelings and strong emotions that are involved in the awakening. Sasuke then decides to listen to her and protect Boruto instead of exacting vengeance against him. But the one thing people tend to forget is that the allegiance of Sasuke towards Boruto wouldn't last. Sarada and Sumire confirmed this in Chapter 1 of Boruto Two Blue Vortex. No one in the village recognizes that something isn't right to the extent that they believe the ones that aren't affected by the omnipotence jutsu are the weird ones. To them, Kawaki has always been the son of the 7th Hokage and Boruto has been the rebellious outsider. Sumire also said that some of them still sense the paradox that occurred earlier on. Like, how could Kara have modified him if he had been born and raised in the village? What happened to Momoshiki? Even Shikamaru was not convinced and asked Kawaki about that. This means that many of them have started to notice the contradictions to the new reality that was created by Eida. This caused them to question it. This signifies that one can fight against omnipotence if the attention of the person is called to the inconsistencies or if someone does something that causes the person to doubt their perceived reality. So, in some way, this explains why Sasuke, since Sarada awakened her Mangekyou Sharingan at that exact moment. This caused Sasuke to question his own thoughts, which made him to notice the contradictions. So, with our theory so far, if one is able to point out the contradictions of the entire omnipotence jutsu to the person, the individual can fight against it, right? But no, because later on we see that Sarada says that the unease everyone felt at the beginning slowly dissipated over time and no one questions it again. We see this in Chapter 1 where Shikamaru no longer sees or questions any contradictions with the current reality when he was initially affected. So this means that the omnipotence jutsu is a sort of presence that is always active even after it has been casted. Thus, it's constantly working and making sure it patches any hole that is left in its programming. This is the same as to what Sasuke said he felt within him, which was trying to silence any thoughts or doubts he had. And I believe that just like how Shikamaru and everyone else succumbed to the jutsu over time, this is the same thing that happened to Sasuke. So this means Sasuke would revert back to his initial mind that wanted to kill Boruto for killing his best friends and trying to hurt Kawaki. This would mean that Sasuke would attack Boruto with intent to kill, changing him from being an ally to foe. With this, one can say that Boruto had to kill Sasuke in self-defense, which would mean one of the beloved characters in the series got killed off screen. But I don't believe this is so because this would cause backlash from fans, which is something the writers and publishers wouldn't want to happen as it affects their decision-making process. So for me, I believe that Sasuke got locked away by Boruto instead of him being killed. This of course would most likely be suggested by Sasuke to Boruto in order to resist the urge to kill Boruto himself. This makes more sense because if you look back to chapter 69 where he told Boruto that he might be the one to show his resolve next. This was in reference to Boruto, who said that he wanted to lay down his life in his battle against Goat to protect his loved ones. The most obvious interpretation would be Sasuke would have to sacrifice himself to stop Momoshiki, but that could actually not be true. Which is similar to what people were thinking, that Baron Mode would kill Naruto, which it didn't, but took away Kurama. A similar thing may happen here, where instead of Sasuke trying to subdue a possessed Boruto, Sasuke might be the one that needs to be contained. This then brings the question, would Sasuke be contained? Because even if Boruto is somewhat stronger than Sasuke at this point, he can't be bearing him up every time he tries to break free. Considering the fact that Sasuke still has access to Susanoo even though he has lost his Rinnegan eye. This is proven by the fact that Madara could still use his Susanoo upon losing his eyes. This simply means that Susanoo is a power you still have after post-awakening the Mangekyou Sharingan. What do we bring out of this? This means that Sasuke cannot be contained if he's conscious, and the next course of action would be to make him unconscious. This brings us back to chapter 68, where Sasuke met up with Shikamaru and said that he had intel on Code's whereabouts. Sasuke located one of Boruto's facilities, which was on the edge of the Land of Snow, and it was used for rituals and human experimentations. It's the same facility that is used in disposing cyborgs that Jigen had ordered to be scrapped. So if Sasuke needed a place to hide with Boruto, this would be the best bet, as it is a secluded location. Although Sasuke didn't give out the location to Shikamaru, it has already been investigated by Konoha ninjas before and was no longer occupied by them with the events in chapter 79. This would mean Boruto and Sasuke have access to the containers that were used to house Daemon and Eida while keeping them alive. So instead of Sasuke siding against Boruto whether in battle or helping the Leaf Village to find him, he decided to just remove himself from the entire equation by hiding. Something to note is that the containers used to house Eida and Daemon preserved their form so that they didn't age physically inside the chamber pots. So, similar to Naruto not aging in Kawaki's dimension, Sasuke wouldn't age either. This is a good way to remove the both of them from the story while keeping them in their top form for future plots. There's another theory about Sasuke that has been making waves, which I want to talk about. This theory says that Sasuke was transformed into a Ten-Tails clone. This theory is based on the fact that a Clawgrime was shown to have a Rinnegan. To be specific, a Rinnegan that doesn't have Tomoe's. This distinction is quite important to note because the Ten-Tails has a Rinne Sharingan, which is always shown as having Tomoe's and red in color. And while we don't know yet what color of the Rinnegan the Clawgrimes has, we do know that it is similar to that of the Ten-Tails. From this, we can conclude that the Rinnegan that the Clawgrimes has didn't come from the Ten-Tails. So going by this logic, everyone's attention moved to Sasuke since he's the only other known user of the Rinnegan. Sasuke's Rinnegan has the ability to activate and deactivate its embed Tomoe's. This normally happens when he's low on chakra. So this means the Rinnegan the Clawgrimes use belongs to Sasuke and he couldn't activate the Rinnegan due to him being low on chakra or not being the original user. However, this isn't the case because Sasuke's Rinnegan was destroyed and it's possible the eye was removed also because of the permanent damages done to it. Because if you look closely at the attack to the eye, it wasn't just punctured with a kunai but was entirely covered with the kunai, meaning its eye fluids must have also drained out. But the eyeballs in Naruto kind of worked differently, so maybe it was later healed by Sakura, but it would still remain unusable. So even if it was transferred to another person like the Clawgrimes, it wouldn't be usable. Or maybe a damaged Rinnegan can be repaired, and this is possible because it's a world of fiction and Kishimoto can do whatever the hell he wants with his story. But with what we know currently, it's not possible. If the Rinnegan the Clawgrimes had didn't come from Sasuke, then it definitely came from the Ten-Tails. We know that Kaguya awakened the Rinne Sharingan after consuming the chakra fruit created by the original Ten-Tails who also possessed a Rinne Sharingan. Then it was passed on to Hagoromo who was able to awaken a Tomoe-less Rinnegan due to the power he inherited from Kaguya and the chakra fruit. And if we all remember, Hagoromo was the one who gave Sasuke the Rinnegan, and it was also stated in the data book in spite of Hagoromo himself not possessing a Tomoe Rinnegan. What I'm trying to say is that Tomoe-less Rinnegan and the Sharingan are derivatives of the Rinne Sharingan. That's why the name is Rinne Sharingan. So the theory of Sasuke being preserved in one of the containers just like how Naruto is being preserved in another dimension is more plausible because they can remain in their prime. And still can be like that even after 30 or 40 years. What do you think of this theory? Do let us know in the comment section below, and thank you for watching.